Otakuology Podcast with Otaku Mike and Jin Graves.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike, and with me as always is Jin Graves.
Yeah, that's me.
Today, we're looking at a short story all the way back from 1990 to 1991 is when it ran, a 3-chapter story called Soldier of Savings, Cashman, written and drawn by Akira Toriyama himself. If you would like to read this story after you get done listening to us, you can do so by checking it out from the Manga Theater anthology series that has come out recently from Viz Media. Yeah.
So
I
only got one reference for this real quick.
Okay.
Catch Me Outside. How about that?
Is that what you were thinking the whole time you were reading this?
No, the thing I was thinking was the other thing that I told you about price gougers and stuff that like own things, mattresses or washers or ShamWow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Come on down to the Price King and get you a mattress.
So let's start this manga off. This manga takes place in Slope Town, Earth, apparently, and it looks pretty much like the world of Dragon Ball. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like they're in the Dragon Ball world.
I think everything looks like the world of Dragon Ball.
I agree with you there. And we see this guy, he's driving around in his Jeep. He's a police officer, or he might be a like fish and wildlife park ranger. That's what it seems like more he's dressed up like to me, is like some kind of park ranger, but he's actually like a police officer. And he's looking.
That's what I thought too.
You thought that too? It looks like Yamcha dressed up as a park ranger.
I was like, this guy, what is he?
He looks like, doesn't he look like Yamcha dressed as a park ranger?
He does.
He does, doesn't he? I think Yamcha fell on hard times.
He did, right?
He went from thieving to being a police officer.
This must be that time after he met Bulma.
Yeah, after he met Bulma and they went off and he broke up or something, I guess, you know?
Yeah, he's like, I had to go do this.
But we get this scene where he's looking
for... you know, the funny thing is, this would make more sense if this was him before he became a bandit. Because then it would make sense being a park ranger to know the Wolfang Fist.
But wouldn't it mess with continuity? Because in this, the guy's name is Chapat, or we'll call him Cashman, you know. He has another name, but I can't remember what his other name is. But he's an alien. He could be on the run.
He could be on the run.
Would we say Yamcha is secretly an alien?
Yeah.
Maybe, right?
Yeah, all the time.
Maybe. But Chapta is looking for some bad guys to beat up and capture or whatever. He's doing patrol, and he gets one. He races off to it, and we see this guy. This guy looks like how would you describe this big beefy man with the Uzi? He has one of the most what would you call it? One of the most useless weapons, which is an Uzi. He's holding up this old guy and his daughter, it looks like.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's it's the guy that plays in the Avatar movie that plays the general, except he had a role where he was beefier.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what would be better than that one?
What?
The Russian guy from the Punisher movies.
Oh, Kevin Nash?
Is that who it was?
Yeah, he looks like Kevin Nash. He does, doesn't he? Yeah. He kind of does. But we see this, or Chapter sees this, and he's like, "Oh, I got to do something. Time to change into my form change. Got to show his true form." And he pushes his belt buckle just like a common rider would, and he changes into Cashman, the soldier of savings. Tell me, or let's tell the listeners, how would you describe Cashman and the way he looks?
Cashman looks like if Piccolo and Frieza had a baby.
Right?
And then if Cooler, Frieza's brother, and somebody else had a baby, like the beautiful guy that's part of Frieza's army. And then after
Jace?
that,
Is it Jace? Is that his name?
I
Jace?
think so. I
The
think
red
so.
guy?
No,
Really?
the blue guy.
Oh, the blue guy.
Yeah, with the long green hair.
Oh god, I can't remember what his name is.
So
Shit. I forgot his name.
And then if both of those kids had a baby, because this guy just looks,
and then their baby's fucked.
Yeah. And then during that process, Jocko was like, "Let me throw some of my DNA in there, okay?"
He does kind of look like a proto Jocko a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, like, when you look at him, I can't say that he's not unique, because he's very unique. But
he does
I don't
pull from all those different character designs.
But from everything that we've covered so far, like I said, he is like unique. But from all the different character designs and stuff that we've seen before, he looks like a mashup of all those.
He does. And going through this anthology series, we do see a lot of that.
That's true.
Like, we do see that,
Yamcha is a park ranger.
But Yamcha's a park ranger. And he's like, "I'm Cashman," and I love this part where he's like, "Attention victims, could we please settle our fee prior to your rescue?"
Yes.
And he's like, that'll be 10,000 yen. I was like,
right.
I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? And he's like, "Oh, we can possibly like settle this later." And you see them, and they're kind of like dumbfounded. Even the bad guys kind of dumbfounded about this.
Right. And then the dad's kind of like, "Oh, well, yeah, I guess we could do that." And the other guy starts kind of threatening him, and Cashman goes, "Oh, well, let's finish this after. Let's complete the transaction agreement after all of this stuff happens."
Yeah. And we get this cool fight. I like this fight. I like the fights in this manga. I think they're very well done, obviously, because it's done by the Dragon Ball guy, and he usually does really good fights and whatnot.
Well, and these ones are a lot better because they're not 7 episodes of, hey, let's throw a punch.
Well, I mean, I was more towards like the manga part, not the anime.
They could both do that. They could both do that.
I mean, kind of, I guess, a little bit,
Yeah.
But he saves the day and runs off, and he's like, "Oh, well, I guess I gotta do something for Chapta, his human form." So he goes and arrests the guy he just beat up, basically.
Yeah.
And we get is this where we get his backstory after this?
And we also get where the old guy, he's really thanking the old guy because he's like, "Oh, 20,000 yen? You're so generous."
Yeah, how did he go up from 10,000 to 20,000?
Because the old guy, just gave it to him as a thing.
You think he just carries 20,000 yen around?
I'm sure everybody carries 20,000 yen around.
Okay, because he asks for a lot of money in this manga.
I mean, especially an old person, that's like 200.
Yeah, but after that, we get this really cool space scene where he's tracking down or fighting these aliens in his spaceship. You don't get a lot of outer space stuff when it comes to this kind of stuff.
No, no. The other thing though that made me think about is all of the other ones that we have where they start out in space and then they come to
Yeah.
Earth. That's
Yeah,
what it made me think
totally.
about.
And we have these weird, like he's chasing after like these weird alien guys,
Yeah.
and this is where we get kind of his backstory.
I'm trying to think what they look like. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, I've seen this design somewhere else before.
They look like the green guy when he gets all buffed up from the Guinea forests.
The green guy.
Or he's
Oh,
like
the guy with all the eyes?
No, you know that pretty guy you said who was in Frieza's force.
Oh yeah, the light blue guy that
Yeah, he
when he
kind of
looks like
that.
a frog. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he kind of looks like they kind of look like that, you know, because there's two of them. But we get the backstory about how Cashman got to Earth and stuff, and Chapta, the body, or he gets hit by the spaceship. It looks like he accidentally hits him with his spaceship. I think, right?
Yeah, he gets hit by Cashman's spaceship.
Yeah, and he like kills him. I think.
Yes.
And then Cashman takes over his life, and we find out that he has to get gold because his spaceship runs on gold.
Right, which I was like, whenever we got to that part, I was like, what?
Yeah,
really?
Like, come on. Yeah.
Really?
But
you're going to say that you run on gold.
Yeah. But it's funny, like he goes and turns in the bad guy. We get to meet Chapta's girlfriend, which her name is Shamporia, I think her name was called. I think we'll just call her Bulma. We'll just call her Bulma because she looks like Bulma.
Bulma 2.
Bulma 2. Bulma 2. But I like this scene where like he's going and fill out paperwork and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, like you're doing stuff. All right, you know, that's cool. And
yeah,
you never like
work before.
Yeah, you never do work before, you know, and the aliens come down and we get the lizard alien guys or girls. We don't know if they're guys or girls. They're fighting with
I think they're guys.
They're fighting with the police officers, and they're over. I like the scene. I like the scene. I think it's funny, like just them fighting the police officers. The police officers are cowering behind a tree.
Yeah.
And then Cashman shows up, and we get probably one of my favorite lines ever in a manga, which is "My farts are stronger than the creatures on this planet."
Yes. I was like, what? It was so random.
That just made me laugh like so hard when I saw that, because I was like, yes, my farts too are stronger than anybody else.
It kind of reminded me of in Dragon Ball, whenever they're at the tournament and he's fighting the really stinky guy. And he's like, oh, my odor is what's going to win all the fights for me or whatever. That's what it kind of made me think about was when that guy said that.
Yeah, that's what I kind of think of, you know. But we do get this cool fight between the bad guys and Cashman.
Yeah,
which it's a quick fight, but I mean it's cool looking. I like it a lot.
Can we point out and talk about how both of the aliens were so different in what they actually had?
Sure.
One of them's wearing like armor and has a gun, and the other one's not wearing anything and has a sword.
No, the other one has wearing like a leotard almost.
Yeah,
but they look.
But I was like,
they look the same, but they're wearing different stuff.
I was like, how is one guy like fully armored up with a gun and the other guy doesn't have
like
armor on?
They're wearing what's that armor called that they always wear in Dragon Ball?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
The
that's what it
the
looks
one
like.
that Vegeta has,
Mm-hmm.
the Saiyan armor or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And the other one's wearing like a weird looking
Like,
leotard.
yeah, like a strongman outfit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
just thought
I
it was
like.
weird.
I mean, I like this. I mean, it's a quick fight, but I mean, it's cool. This is where he does
Yeah,
his Big Bang attack, which is a flying jump kick. Which Big Bang attack? That's reference to Dragon Ball.
that's true. That is very true.
And then we get in chapter 2, we get again his
Well, we
actual
have the
backstory.
specification too of his armor. His armor has these little slots on either side of the chest piece that actually open up and have larger things that come out of them than what.
Yeah, one's a sword, one's a gun.
Yeah,
But he goes to meet his. So he goes to meet his girlfriend on a date. Yeah, he
yeah,
goes to meet his girlfriend on a date, and he's wearing the weirdest thing. He's wearing a bell bottoms, a tank top, and a scarf. And she even points
yeah,
this out that he looks ridiculous. Like he doesn't know how to dress himself outside as a police uniform,
yeah.
which is funny to think about.
Oh yeah, no, I that was one of the things I liked reading this part because I was like, "What is this outfit?"
Yeah, because it looks weird, but I love this interaction between them. Like as they're like kind of going out on a date, and Chapta doesn't know what to do, or Cashman doesn't know what to do, and they end
Yeah,
up getting a flat tire, and they end up running into the Devil Kids, which I thought this was a missed opportunity to have a crossover with Aquaman.
yeah.
I thought I thought Aquaman should have totally been in this and should have been one of the devil
Oh
kids,
yeah, oh yeah. That would have been funny.
But
I
these
feel like
guys look.
with uh, Akira Toriyama, there's a lot of missed opportunities
Yeah,
because
yeah,
if it's not one of his big ones, there's not like ever a reference to anything,
yeah,
And I think that's where the missed opportunities come from is because if he did do that and we got to see Cashman or you know Aquaman or any of the other ones, then we would have something to throw back and say, hey, y'all, I remember reading that. I remember this, but
yeah.
we don't get that opportunity.
No, we don't get that whatsoever.
Yeah,
But Chapta, he ends up stopping the devil kids. Uh, his girlfriend knows who these people are because they're like notorious, like bad kids, which
yeah,
they're supposed to be like children, but one of them looks like Android 8 or is it 16? Android, he looks like Android 16 dressed up as like Eddie Munster.
yeah,
And then we have one where it looks like uh Gohan is dressed up like a gangster, like a 1940s 50s gangster.
yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we're going to take your woman and and uh we're going to do like horrible things to her and whatnot." And
We could go
they
all the way.
all the way.
We're gonna touch those boobs or that butt.
Oh, we might touch your butt.
Yeah.
But they
Oh man.
they
Whenever I
shoot.
read that part, I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess they are like 13 years old."
Yeah, they're 13 and they're like, but before that they actually shoot Chapta in the heart, supposedly killing him because his girlfriend thinks that he's dead, and she gets taken by the kids, and she's like, what are you guys gonna do? Like, y'all are just kids. And that's when we find out they're gonna touch her boob and her butt because that's what they want to do.
Yeah, because that's going all the way.
Oh, the way, yeah. And he ends up stopping, or coming in front of the the devil kids, and he find out he has a sword in his, like, I like this part where the sword pops out of his chest.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, actually. I like that. Just think he has like a sword hidden in his chest, and it pops out, and he cuts the top off of this really cool car actually, and saves the day as Cashman.
Yeah. Which I like how he takes out the big guy, the big one of the
Yeah.
two middle schoolers or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
then he's sitting there, and the little kid goes, "Oh well, he didn't matter, you know. I'm the real like brains of the outfit." And
Mm-hmm.
he goes to the car that's already damaged and punches it,
Oh
and
yeah, he does.
it like flies, you know, a little ways away. He goes, "I'm the strongest middle schooler uh in the world or whatever." And
Mm-hmm.
then Cashman goes, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "Well, let me show you like true strength or whatever." And then he ends up punching the ground in front of him and makes like a huge fissure.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Just wait till you're an adult
He's like, I'm the strongest
in the
alien there
universe,
is
the strongest
on
adult in the
Earth.
universe,
Yeah,
in the
and
universe."
so we get this funny scene where so he saves the day and he basically charges his girlfriend for saving her.
Yeah,
He charges her like 30,000 yen. That
yeah.
was funny.
Oh yeah, man, I loved it because she was
Yeah.
like, I'll get Chapter to pay this, basically,
Yeah.
or something." She makes a reference. That was one of the things that I was a little confused about because she like makes a reference to it, and I'm like, but didn't she already say that he was dead?
True. Or maybe yeah. But maybe he did Cashman say that Chapter was alive?
No, but she thought that he was dead.
Oh, huh. Oh no no no! She finds out that he's not dead later on. Like, and at the end of this chapter, you see Chapter show up, and she like faints because he's not dead. You know?
Yeah, because she thinks he's a ghost.
Yeah.
But she says something like that after he brings up the payment part.
Oh, maybe she thought that he wasn't fully dead.
I don't know. I think
Maybe
she
she.
thought that he was dead, but maybe she thought that because they were together that maybe he left her in like his will or something.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? But we find out after that, Chapter's car is not fixed, so he's biking it everywhere on this little rinky dinky bike.
It looks like a
Takes him.
scooter with a bike seat on.
Yeah, it looks like one of those like foldable bikes, you know?
Yeah. I'm only supposed to be riding down to the store, not all over the town.
Yeah.
But
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
he's doing that, and then he ends
He
up
finds out
getting,
that there's been a robbery.
yeah,
Yeah, a robbery, and somebody's stolen a bunch of money. I don't remember exactly the full amount of the money that was
10 billion.
stolen. Is it 2 billion yen?
10
And
billion.
10 billion. And Cashman's like, oh yeah, I can definitely buy all the gold with this, and finally get home too. And he pulls out his like blaster pistol, and he's waiting up on top of like a mountain or a
Yeah,
ridge of some kind, and he blows out the tire, blows up the car basically,
yeah.
hitting it. And we see this guy come out, and he's in like a robot cat suit.
Which, let me ask you this, because this was one of them when I was reading this that I was like, okay, this face is familiar, but what else did we read it in where the guy looked exactly like that?
Oh, I don't know. Was it Aquaman?
I don't know. I think so because it was a character that he came around a couple times, so we saw him like a lot,
Maybe, I don't know.
but I couldn't remember what it was in.
Or maybe he was one of like the delinquents in Aquaman, because that's the only one that we've read so far out of this.
I don't know.
Who knows, you know?
Yeah,
But I like this part. I like this part a lot, this last chapter.
yeah,
Because Cashman thinks that this guy's gonna be a big old pushover, and he's not a pushover, which is very surprising that that he's not a pushover. And we get this really cool fight scene. Or is this? Yeah, he's the most strongest criminal on earth. He says.
Yes.
And we get this cool fight scene and whatnot, and I like it. I think it's funny. Like, this whole fight is really well done.
Yeah.
I like it that he has a titty laser. The cat guy has a tit laser, but it's only on one tit, not the other tit.
Is it? I thought it was like a chest laser.
It is a chest laser. It's on his boobie. It pops up.
Okay, I thought it was in the middle, like the very middle of his suit.
No, it's on his like left side.
I guess I didn't notice that part.
He like shoots the laser at Cashman. He's like, psh, psh.
Yeah,
but Cashman barely makes it out, and we find out that he's having a hard time with this fight, which is a really brutal looking fight. And Cashman says like, "Oh man, I just need the money, like all he needs." And then the guy is like, the criminal, he's like, "Why didn't you say so? We could just split the money, you know?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No,
you take $5 billion. You take $5 billion, and I'll take $5 billion."
He's like, "Oh, that would definitely repair my spaceship and stuff." And he gives him the old Batman bitch slap, and he's like, "No, you're a clown. Why would I take money from a criminal? I'm not gonna do that." But he ends up beating the criminal, taking the stolen money back. I guess he kind of has a conscience, or his conscience kicks in at this moment. But he does get some of the reward money for bringing in the money, and he ends up getting to go off
$1 billion.
Yeah, he ends up going off to to get off Earth and go to his home planet, which is pretty funny to see.
Yeah.
And it turns out Cashman was really all about the money.
Yes.
And that's how this manga ends. It's all about that money.
It's so weird.
So let me ask you, what did you think about this manga?
It was weird. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoy all of these ones, but it was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, especially when it was like, oh hey, I'm only in it. I need the gold. I'm only in it, and the only way I can do it is by making money.
But making money as a crime fighter.
Right. So
yeah,
it was just kind of funny.
I was because I didn't know really what to expect from this.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be more like he needs it to like recharge his like superhero suit or something at first. And I thought it was gonna be like, I didn't think it was gonna be the whole I need gold to fuel my spaceship and stuff like that, and him having to. It reminded me of this game that never came out, kind of called a Rent-A-Hero. It was like this superhero would do like odd jobs to run his superhero suit. That's what I kind of thought it was going to be, but it was something like completely different that we got. I enjoyed this one. Like, I thought it was fun, but I'm kind of glad we didn't get more of this, because I feel like it would wear itself out if we got more of this, like story wise. I don't know if I necessarily like it as much as I liked Aquaman. I think Aquaman was a little bit better than this, but I still enjoyed this manga.
True. Well, I mean, and like we talked about, it would be really good to have different ones here and there as crossovers.
Yeah, like, why hasn't any of these characters like shown up in the main continuity? I know Aquaman's shown up like for like a panel or like a scene in the comics, but he didn't like do anything. He was like a background character. Like the only
Right.
one who's actually shown up is Doctor Slump, like with the
That's
characters from
true.
Doctor Slump, you know. But like,
Yeah. And Arlie.
why don't we get any of these other characters? You know?
I don't know. And then like you were reading earlier, we see part of that stuff or hear part of that stuff. Um, whenever he's doing it, like how Cashman was like a side idea when he was doing one of the Frieza arcs and stuff like that, and
Mm.
um, it just kind of ends up going from there. And I'm like, he could have included it as like a background character maybe at some point.
Or even, but yeah, I don't see why Cashman couldn't show up, you know, and maybe he's involved with like Jocko or something, you know, and doing something over there with Jocko. 'Cause, I mean, Jocko shows up in Dragon Ball Super, and he was a side thing altogether, you know.
Right, and
Like,
that's true.
I'm curious why like he doesn't incorporate more of these characters into like the bigger like world, I guess the Dragon Ball world, because obviously they've made small cameos. Like it said like one of the police officers makes like a small cameo in a chapter of Dragon Ball Super. So these worlds are connected, you
Right.
know, and stuff. And but I don't know. Maybe it's like a publishing thing. I don't know. Who knows? You know. But I think it'd be cool to like connect them all and have them show up, and you know, maybe it leads to them checking out the
Yes.
little short story or something, you know, and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I fully agree that it would be really cool to have those other ones come out like that, where, hey, I have these, and even if you just saw them in the background or whatever, and the amount of different characters that he makes in
Hmm.
games, or I mean anything, and I'm sure he could make a deal with somebody and say, hey, you know uh part of my character designs go into like Dragon Quest games, or something like that, and say, hey,
Yeah.
I would like them to make it like a one panel cameo, in the background, or
Yeah.
you know because then this is going to sound kind of cheesy. I feel like it would almost turn into like a Where's Waldo situation, and you would
Hmm.
enjoy reading stuff a lot more, because then you would be like, okay, well, here's this guy. Where did he come from, though? Oh yeah, I read that,
It's
and
kind of like the Star Wars effect. How like what was it, that one character? He was just a background character in Episode 1, and he ends up becoming like a Jedi in later on.
yeah,
Totally forget what his name was. Uh, is it like Boss something? I can't remember what his name was. But he ends up becoming like a big thing in like the Clone Wars in the expanded universe
yeah,
later on. I forget what his name was. Oh, damn, it's gonna fucking mess with me now. But yeah, I mean, I had fun with this. I didn't think it was bad. It was fun. It was a fun concept, and I think it lasted like just the right amount
yeah,
of like 3 chapters. Maybe get a 4th chapter in there. Who knows? But I would like to see Cashman brought into the bigger fold of possibly maybe the Dragon Ball Super Universe or something like that. You know, like seeing him come back, that would be kind of cool in that
yeah,
aspect, because obviously he's connected in some way through that. You know, but yeah, it was a fun, interesting concept, like something you wouldn't think of, like a crime fighter who charges people money after or before they save them. You know, that's like saying, oh, like a police officer would do that to us in real life. Give me $1,000 or I'll just let this guy blow your head off, basically.
oh man, right, yeah,
You know, like imagine like if that was like real, like type of thing.
right. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, then I feel like we would almost be like, kind of have like a purge situation going on too, because then it would be
yeah,
like, well, the only way I'll protect you is, if you pay me up front, or
yeah,
anything else like that. So
yeah, yeah. But no, yeah, this is a fun little read. I definitely recommend reading it. I like going in and reading more of these because I've haven't read much of Akira Toriyama's stuff. Like I've said before,
Right.
I've
Yeah.
and getting this, cool seeing another side to him that's not just Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like I like that.
So we're gonna read Everybody's Playground
What?
story and do a recording for it.
What's that?
Like his is called the theater, but then you have other people that call theirs like a playground or whatever. It's
Oh, is that
just
like
different
the
people's short stories.
Mashima thing?
Yeah, Hiro Mashima did that one. The guy that did Fairy Tale and Rave Master
Yeah.
and all that. He's
Can
got
I just
one.
say
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of Hiro Mashima. I
What
don't
a
know if
dick.
that's just blasphemy, but I've never been a fan of his work.
What a dick.
It just doesn't click with me.
I can't believe you. What a
I'm
dick.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
But
if different things don't click with different people, I don't understand why some people want to be angry about it.
yeah, they just don't click with me. Like at one point I did enjoy like the Rave Master anime, but I mean that was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
We'll
But
see, and that's kind of the other thing too. Though I think these books that are like this, that are playgrounds, theaters, or whatever, and it
hmm
does have a lot more of these side ones that
uh
it's a way to kind of figure out if that's like somebody that you want to continue reading or anything else like that. So
yeah,
I really hate that somebody will get published and then you buy it and you start getting into the series and they have one of these come out, because it's like, well, yeah, you'll buy it because you're a fan of that person, but if somebody had read it originally, then they could have been a fan of the person starting out
I
before getting
I
into
mean
this.
I bought this only because like I saw the cover and I liked the cover art and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this looks cool. Let's check this out. And I was like, oh, it's Akira Toriyama. I haven't read much of his. I didn't know he had so much like published short stories. Like,
Yeah.
because I know he had like the Sandland, and then there was like a couple of other things here and there. And then he had like Doctor Slump, but that's a whole other series. I didn't realize there was like so much like published work that we never got. You
Yeah.
know, because this is technically 3 volumes of just random stories.
This is true.
And I think it's cool. And you cross one off the list, so now we have how many more of these do we have to fucking cover? You know,
Yeah.
we have quite
12.
a bit more. You know,
12. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
not that far along yet to
yeah. But I mean,
consider anything.
it's cool to read this and check it out. Like it was fun. It was a silly odd concepts that it
Yes.
surprisingly works with, like, you could say it's pulled from like Super Sentai or like Common Rider stuff, and uh the characters were ridiculously designed and the comedy worked really well in this. Like I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I laughed. There were parts where I laughed out loud, like laughing so hard, and normally I don't do that with a lot of comedy manga, but I mean, and a nice balance of comedy and action thrown together. And I liked how Chapta or Cashman uh interacted with like the humans when his human
Yeah.
form was pretty funny too.
That's true.
It kind of
Especially,
reminded. Go
although,
ahead.
so there is one more thing that I want to bring up at the very
Uh-huh.
end of this.
Okay.
So on one part, when we're reading it with like chapter 1,
Uh-huh.
we do hear that he almost seems like an Ultraman thing.
Yeah.
He ends up like fusing with uh
Oh, did he fuse? I thought he killed him
Pacha.
and like did like a Martian Manhunter thing, and
Well,
took over
well,
his
because
form.
he says that he fuses with him or whatever to take on and get his memories, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, then right at the very end, he's flying off or whatever, and Chapta is still there. I wonder if while they were fused together, he was healing Chapta, and then
Oh.
he came back.
That's interesting. I didn't pick up on that whatsoever. Huh.
Yeah, because I didn't know if he fully absorbed him into himself or whatever.
That
And
could
then,
totally be an Ultraman thing, you know?
yeah, and then he just got like
Yeah.
the knowledge from him. Because I
Yeah.
was kind of thinking about it like Cell, like once he absorbs
Mm-hmm.
somebody, like that's it, like you're gone.
Yeah.
Um, but he's got your power and your knowledge and stuff, basically. And that
Mm-hmm.
was one of the things I was confused with. This is that how it worked? Well, then right at the very end, when he's shooting off, we do have where Chat is standing there and kind of has this like stupid look on his face, like he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. He does. I'm going back and looking at it. Yeah, he does.
So I kind of wonder if he fused with him, and while he was fused with him, he was basically healing him. And then when he got all this money and whatnot, that's when he pulled himself back out of him, and he basically left like a healed Chapta sitting there.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Oh, I'm looking at
Nothing
this
that's
other one. This other one looks
nothing that's
pretty
going to
funny
get
too.
the one after it.
No, I mean not the one after. There's one called Madmatic.
Yeah,
It looks kind of funny. I don't know. That's the one where the guy has like he's on the cover of the front of the book. But that other one looks funny too. The after this, the Dub and Peter one. That one looks pretty funny too. That was a little short story.
yeah, that's one I want to read.
Can I just say, like, so I'm looking at this book and Akira Toriyama's like depiction of himself, where it's like a little person in a gas mask. You
Sometimes,
seen
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah,
where he does the gas test, and then he's got another one where it's like him, but there's a piece of paper over his face.
it looks like a little old granny with a gas mask on.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is fun. I'm looking forward to covering more of this, even though I said that before in
Yeah,
the Aquaman video. But the Aquaman video was months ago since we done that one. You
months and
know,
months and months ago. Yeah,
months ago. But yeah, this one was
which
fun as well.
now that kind of piques my interest too to go see what people's renditions of themselves are, because there's one other guy that every time he draws himself uh, as a thing or at the end of the book or whatever, he's always a gorilla
Oh,
with a
really?
tooth. Yeah, I
Hmm.
can't remember who it is right now, but how many other people do that and draw themselves as something.
I wonder who like started that. That'll be interesting to find out. You know?
Astro Boy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So,
But yeah, this was fun. Thanks for listening. Definitely go check out Soldiers of Savings Cashman. It's definitely worth your time to read. It's fun and totally recommend it. Yeah.
right. So
And
go check it out, and we will see you in another future episode. Thanks for listening, and as always, see
see you
you
next
next
Tuesday.
Tuesday.